Okay, as we have discussed previously, we briefly talked about what we are going to have in chapter number 12, right? Okay, so we are going to talk about how to use the entity relationship diagram or data modeling, which is object-based or record-based. Object-based. Why? Because we are dealing with the data as entities or objects, distinct objects. Okay, so it's an object-based data modeling. We can at the end of this chapter slide, we will be able to draw or build up an ER diagram. All right, and we are going to use some basic concepts related with ER diagram using the UML, Unified Modeling Language, which will represent every distinct object as entities, as I said. I forgot to bring this one. Do you remember when I wrote this? For example, student entity, student, register, courses, right? This is just a simple, like let's say figure about the ER diagram. So students, register. Sorry about that. So students, registers, courses. Okay, this is just a simple overall example about the ER diagram. This is ER. Okay. Now, what is this? What are the main concepts that you are going to discuss? What is this? Each of these? Entity. This is an entity, right? Entity. Student entity, course entity. Distinct objects. It can be a thing, it can be. Can you hear me? So we are just discussing some examples about the ER diagram, like students and courses. Okay, so entities. What is this? What is this? Relationship. Okay, and what comes within each entity? Some characteristics of each entity, which are what we call this attributes. Exactly. Okay, so we are going to discuss this. We are going to focus on this concept. Okay, in this chapter slide. What else? Yeah, how to resolve some problems related to the ER diagram. There are some problems, some sort of problems which we call connection traps. It's associated with the relationship. All right, relationships. So sometimes we are doing some mistakes having relationships between entities, which will cause some problems in the ER diagram. So we are going to find out how to resolve these problems and how, at the end, how to build up an ER diagram based on the requirement specifications. All right. So this is what we are going to discuss in this chapter slide. Previously, I have mentioned something about the database system development life cycle, right? I mentioned this before. And we talked about the data, the ER diagram will be under which stage? Which one? Anyone can tell? The data model, this one, the ER diagram will be under which one? See? Planning is not planning, right? In the planning stage, we are just having brainstorm, and then we will get the idea. System definition, it's not there. Requirement collection, we are collecting data. Here. All right? Here. Database, here, see? And this, in the middle. Okay, so we are going to have the ER in this part. Okay, in this part of the database system development lifecycle. All right, so these are all the. All right. So as an introduction, we said in the system development life cycle, all right, in the system development life cycle, there is a part of that we are going to design. In the design stage, we will have like all data collected, and then based on the requirement specification, we are going to have a better idea about the information about the interface. Okay, what's the point of having an ER diagram? Why we are going to have an ER diagram? Anyone can tell? What's the point of having an ER diagram? Why? Why we are going to have this? For what? What is the point of having data model? You studied for the chapter number 2, right? Same. Point.
To make a relationship between them?
Yeah, know that, okay, know the relation between them, between each entity, but why? Why you are going, why you need to have
to make it easier for the user to
exactly.
Information.
It will be more understandable. Okay? So it will be complicated if you just bring all the data and present it to users like without any organization. You are organizing data in which it will become more understandable, right? So this is the main point. But what we need to know here that some problems with the database design, designers or programmers or end users, they view same data in different ways. So this is the main point. If they are viewing the data in different ways, so we need to have a universal design or a universal model that every user can understand. All right? That's the point of having an ER diagram. So what is the ER? So we need to understand what data to be represented and how it is being represented in the model. Okay. We need to have a better understanding without any technical or complicated data related to this ER diagram or any ambiguities. Any unclear parts of data will be removed using the ER diagram. Okay, so that's the main point of having the entity relationship model. So this is entity relationship model. It's a top-down approach. We start defining the general terms of the information, and then comes to its characteristics. Like we start with entities. We define the entities like students, courses, and then we come to the relationships among them, and then their attributes and other constraints. Right? So this is what we are going to do with the ER diagram. We start with important data like entities and relationships, and then comes to add more attributes and constraints. So from the top, what to be defined on the top? Entities and what? Relationships. Okay. Let me just see if I can use the pen. See, entities and relationships will be defined on the top, from the top as a general term. Then comes what? The attributes. We will define the attributes and constraints. That's the meaning of top-down approach. Top, most important information, then down, least important information. All right? All right. So of course we said we are using which modeling language? Okay, like object-oriented modeling language, which will integrate the state of the data and the behavior. So we are dealing with the data, including state and behavior. Okay, what to represent and how to represent it. Okay, so this is what we call Unified Modeling Language (UML). It started to be used in 1999, and there are so many methods. There are actually so many ways and so many languages to represent this. But what we are going to take in this course is the UML. You will see if you search in Google, if you Google it, search for ER diagram. Okay. For example, you will find that there are so many ways to represent it. Not only UML, but this is one way. This is one popular way to represent it this way. Entities as a rectangle, relationship as lines, and there is a small triangle indicating the direction of the relationship. Okay, from student to courses, for example. Okay, there are so many ways. You will see, you will find that there are so many ways to represent it. Okay. So we are going to represent it using the UML. All right? Using UML. Unified Modeling Language. Okay. So who is responsible to model, to have or to provide the data model for the organization? Who is the one? Who is the stakeholder? You as users, the designer, exactly. Excellent. So the database designer or the data model designer, he is the one who is responsible of having or using the UML and then present the data based on the requirements. All right. Assume that you are a designer now. You are learning how to design. Okay. We are going to take it from step by step from A to Z. Okay. First, you need to know the concepts, the main concepts. See, the main concepts here, there are so many concepts you need to consider. First of all, entity type. What is entity type? Entity type. It's an object or group of objects with the same properties or same attributes. Okay? Same characteristics. Okay? So it will be used to or identified by the organization itself, and it has independent existence. For example, the students. Can we have two student entities or only one entity? Only one. So it has only single existence. Okay? We cannot repeat this. We cannot say student entity is here and then you draw another student entity. You cannot do that. It will be having only one independent existence. So it's the basic concept of the ER model. This is the basic concept. So this is the entity type. Okay, so it is the basic concept. It has independent existence. Now let's talk about what is the meaning of independent existence. So, for example, as we said, it's an entity type like this one. It has an independent existence. It can be physical existence or conceptual existence. Physical means physical, something physical. Can be felt, all right? Like, for example, staff, property, customer, port, supplier, product. Okay? Something physical. محسوس, مادي. نقدر نحس فيه. Okay? So this is something physical. All right? So it can be physical, number one. It can be conceptual. Conceptual means it can be a process, not something. It can be a process, like, for example, viewing, like registration.
Like software?
We are talking about operations, processes.
So something like coding, right? In the computer.
No, I am talking about, for example, student entity type. This is which type? Is it physical existence or conceptual existence? Physical. Why student is physical? Because it's a person.
Okay.
You can feel. Okay, you can't because you can't.
No, I get it.
You get the point. Okay. So, for example, this is one type of entity. One type of existence. Entity existence. Okay, so student is a physical. Has a physical existence. Why? For example, for other abstract existence like sales, experience, work experience. inspection, viewing. This is something to be done. It's like a service. It's not something you can feel, you can touch, right? This is the meaning of different type of existence. All right. Got the point? You got the point? Okay. So some of the entity types has conceptual and others have physical. Physical like a person or a thing. Okay? A thing. You can feel, you can touch, you can whatever. While conceptual is a process or something abstract. Abstract, like registering. Okay? Registration, for example, is it a thing or a process? Process. Registration is a process. Okay? All right. Got the point there, students? Online students. Is it clear? All right. Okay, let's talk about the entity occurrence. Entity occurrence means uniquely identifiable object of an entity type. For example, there is only one occurrence of students. Okay, it depends. So it can be defined by a name or a list of properties. Okay, so let's see examples about entity occurrences. Okay, so entity occurrence, it depends on the entity type. Okay, defined by a name or a list of properties. The database contains many different entity types, like for example, let's say staff. All right, staff. We have branch, property for rent. This is an example for the dream home. This is from the book example, a dream home example. Okay, a dream home database, a property for rent and private owner. Okay, so these are all entity types. These are all entity types. All right. Okay, the next one will be what you can see here is an ER diagram. Okay, don't worry about it now. You will understand every single element of it. Okay, and you will be able to draw this based on the like maybe imaginative narration or data or enterprise. By the way, your project proposal must be you must be aware of the group members. Yeah, are you aware of that or not yet? The groups for the project. We discussed the project before at the beginning of the semester. So have you selected the members of each group? No, not yet. Okay, I'll do one thing. I will send a link. I will put a link on the Blackboard, and you can. All right. For the project. Yeah, it's okay. No problem. But now on this stage, you need to select the topic. Okay, I will send a link which includes some questions. You will select the topic and you will add the names of each group member. You must be 4 in each group because we are 40 and we need to have 10 groups. Okay, so try to discuss this with your class fellows and you can decide which topic. I will do this today. Okay, I will upload the link today. But make sure that you know who are in your group. We have discussed this. It will be a database. You are going to use different concepts like ER, for example. This is one part of your project. You are going to build up the ER for the organization. Okay, for the organization that you are selecting. It can be real, it can be imaginative, or it can be based on free data source on the internet. Okay, so it depends on your selection. You are free to select whatever you feel comfortable with.
So we can make a take one, right?
Yes, exactly. You can imagine you can have your own data, but you will find some difficulties in having some records because you will need some SQL. You will use your practical skills as well in the project. Okay, you will be requested to have create up to I think 15 to 20 queries. All right. Okay, anyway, so this is the ER diagram. For example, one of you will select the University of Bahrain or the registration system, for example, okay? There will be list of topics, so don't worry about it now. You will have, for example, students, courses, staff member, okay? Faculty member or admin, registration. You will have your own perception about the system, okay? Now, this is about the dream home example, the database which is included in the box. Okay? You can see here there are so many entities. How many entities are there? Should we count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So far, 12 entities. Okay? And there are so many relationships. You see, there will be only one occurrence. This one. The entity type, client is only one. Is it repeated there? On the top, down, nothing. Only it will be occurring here. Okay? Like also some entities will have a distinct name, others will be without. We are going to discuss this also. What is this type, what is this type, and what is this? And why we put this number. Okay? You will be aware of all these things. Don't worry. But this is just an example for you. For example, let's take client. Okay, client. Client, and the primary key for the client, the main or the most important, this one, the most important attributes that identifies this entity is what? What is it? Client number, exactly. Okay, so client number. So assume that client will state a preference. So this is one kind of entity relationship. Client states preference. All right? And it will be one-to-one. What is the meaning of one-to-one? One client will state one preference. Okay, got the point? This is the meaning of one-to-one. Let's take, for example, let's take this one. Private owner will own many, see, many stars indicate many. One too many property for rent. So private owner will own or owns many. This is how we can, using your common sense, okay? How you can know what type of relationship will be in between, okay? This, you will use the logic. Okay? For example, students and courses. What type of relationship is this? Student, register, only one-to-one or one-to-many? One-to-many. Each student will register many courses, right? So one-to-many. Got the point? This is the main concept that you need to understand. All right. Now, as we said, there is how we can represent it. You have now some information about it, right? How to be represented? How each entity type will be represented in a rectangular shape. Okay? So every entity will be represented, okay, in a rectangular label shape. Label, why label? Because there must be a distinct name. We cannot have only a rectangle shape without mentioning what is it. Okay? So there must be a distinct name. It can be a noun. Okay? It's normally will be a noun. So in UML, using UML, the first letter must be capital letter. But other modeling language, there might be okay, no need to capitalize the word. Okay, but in UML, what you are using this course for the ER, it's capitalized. For example, staff and a branch. The first letter of each must be capitalized, S and B. Okay. Also this one, see, it will include 3 words. See here? P, F, R. So in UML, here we are using capital letter for each entity type name. So entity name can be capitalized in UML. Okay? What is the relationship type now? What is the relationship type? It's a set of associations or meaningful associations between or among entity types. Each of these we call entity type, okay? Student entity type, courses entity type. And register is relationship type. We call it relationship type. So it can be set of associations among relationship. It can be a straight line, okay? Linking between or having or providing a link between entities. Like, for example, here, you can see the relationship will describe the function between 2 entities. And like we said here, student registers. What is the relationship type here? Register. And you can see it's capital also. It is. It will be a verb. Normally, it will be a verb. Okay. Something to be done, action. Okay. So relationship occurrence, the same. It's identifying the association. The occurrence will identify the association, which include the occurrence from each participating entity. It will include one occurrence from student side. So, for example, here the register occurrence. How many occurrences will be there for the registers? How many occurrences? How many times in this relationship it will be occurred? One from student side, the other one from courses or subject sides, right? You got the point? So there will be occurrence for the student, and occurrence, same, register occurrence for the courses. Got the point? From both sides. Okay? Each participating entity type, there will be occurrence for the relationship. For example, someone has something. Has is the relationship. Okay? Or student registers courses. Students register, register students because it's students. So students register courses. So register is the relationship. Okay? So has is the relationship here. And the occurrence has will be one branch entity occurrence with one staff entity occurrence. Okay? Occurrence means, for example, you are a student, okay? You have an occurrence in register relationship. You are another occurrence. You are not the same occurrence, but you are another student because you have a different ID number. Got the point? So you will have an occurrence with the register, and she will have an occurrence for the register. On the other side, for the courses, each course will have an occurrence for the register relationship. Got the point? That's the main point of having relationship occurrence, which identifies the relationship. Okay? So here, has is the example about between the branch and staff. And each of these has one occurrence from each entity. Okay. Now, what are the types of relationships? We will have only 2 minutes. Let me clarify this. What are the type, which we can see here in this? You can see something we call semantic net. Semantic net, we will draw an oval shape for every entity and the relationship as well. See, branch B003 is an occurrence, entity type occurrence. B006 is another entity type occurrence. Okay? Here we have has relationship. And what comes next? The staff the staff entity type. There are how many occurrences for the staff? How many occurrences? 3 occurrences for the staff entity type. Okay. If we look at the first relationship, B003 will have one relationship, relationship number one with the first occurrence of the staff, and at the same time we'll have another relationship with the second one. So one branch, many staff. Okay? One branch, many staff. For the branch 007, it will have only one staff. And of course, this is just an example. There will be more for this branch. Okay? So this is how we can represent the relationship type in a semantic net. We call it semantic net. Okay? The occurrence will be, the sample, this one, will represent the entities. This sample, the dot, will represent the entities. Okay? This sample, the dot, and will with an what is it, diamond shape around, it will represent the relationship. Okay? So put this in your mind. This one, this dot will represent the entities. And the dot with the diamond shape around will represent the relationship. And these are occurrences. Okay? 2 occurrences in the branch entity type, 3 occurrences in the staff entity type. And how many occurrences if they have relationship? How many occurrences? 3 occurrences. Okay, 3 occurrences based on the associated entity type. Got the point? Okay, I know just few slides have been discussed today, but inshallah next time we will be able to understand this more. See, just quickly, sorry, give me just 1 or 2 minutes from your time. You will see that we have already mentioned in the ER modeling that the entity or the relationship type, sorry, will be including the relationship name, which is a verb, okay, associating 2 entity types or 2 different entity types. Okay, so that was all for today. Thank you so much for attending. Let me just check the attendance.